I always wanted to be one of them, but then I was told that they don't hire anyone with a turban on. You have to have a cap on, you have to be clean shaved.
44 years ago, Gobinder Singh Randawa smashed a barrier, becoming the TTC's first bus driver to wear a turban on the job. Changing the TTC's uniform policy was no easy task, especially when everyone was required to wear the same headgear.
He put a cap on the table. He said, how would that fit in your head?
Toronto in 1978 was a different time. There were virtually no Sikhs in public service jobs. Randhawa had been living in Canada for 6 years when he applied to work for the TTC. But when he was finally called in for an interview, it was his turban and uncut beard, central to his Sikh faith, which became his biggest roadblock. He refused to sacrifice his faith, and after 4 months of negotiations with the Commission and the union, the TTC changed its uniform policy to allow turbans and beards.
And finally, I started the job on June 22nd, 1978, as a Sikh with a turban on.
Not everyone was thrilled with this change. He faced backlash and hate from day one.
And when I went there the first day at 5 o'clock in the morning, the room was full with the TTC drivers, and none of them was talking to me. They didn't want to talk to me. It was not easy to get a job in 1978. We were in kind of a recession at that time. So people, they made remarks, I heard even racial remarks, but that didn't stop me from moving forward.
To put this change into perspective, Randawa was driving for the TTC 6 years before the Metropolitan Toronto Police would allow officers to wear a turban on the job, and over a decade before the RCMP would follow suit. All the more reason why he says he felt the weight of an entire community on his shoulders.
They all going to look at me, and if I make a mistake, this is going to hurt the whole community, not only just me.
Randawa drove for the TTC for 31 years, retiring on January 1st of 2009. He says over the years, his regular riders, including immigrants from various backgrounds, became like family. While their destinations were different, he says their journeys felt the same.
We were like just like a family. They felt so safe on my bus that they will reach their destination on time. And I'll tell you one thing, when I got very emotional, when I was going to retire on the last day, they all signed a card for me and gave it to me, how they felt, and they all told me they were going to miss me.
Randawa is also one of the founders of the Gursikh Sabha Canada Gurdwara in Scarborough. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the temple helped raise over $100,000 for 5 hospitals in the GTA and acted as a vaccination clinic. Randawa says he hopes his story can continue the fight to create more inclusive workplaces, especially as many impacted by Bill 21 in Quebec have lost their dream jobs.
We have to set up a system where we can respectfully live together and work together and establish a new future for our kids, actually.
Reporting from Toronto, Sumeet Dhami, City News.